Hello everyone, Minute Plus Meditation here. It is Tuesday, March the 12th. First reading is taken from the book of the prophet Ezekiel, chapter 47. In the midst of the vision I received from the Lord, the angel brought me back to the entrance of the temple. There the water was flowing from below the threshold of the temple toward the east, for the temple faced east. Always does, right? Face east, rising of the sun. And the water was flowing down from below the south end of the threshold of the temple, south of the altar. So what is this water? And then, of course, always read the readings, right? So the water is knee, waist, and then he can't swim through the river. This is a type of baptism. All right, Ezekiel is seeing something in effect that relates to the future, and that will be the flowing waters of baptism, which will be consecrated, if you will, the flowing waters that will be consecrated, blessed by Jesus when he is baptized. So he will prepare the waters of the world. And remember, water and blood flowed from his side when he was pierced on the cross. And this is a sign of the Eucharist and baptism, flowing from the heart of Christ, from the temple, from the temple of Christ's body, to refresh and regenerate us. So this is what Ezekiel is seeing. It's beautiful imagery. The waters are super abundant. The waters are going to purify us. The waters they're linked with the temple, so they're going to make us holy, or at least if we are properly disposed, they will make us holy. So this is something we should be reflecting on as we hear and read these readings and pray over these readings. Am I cognizant of the grace of baptism? Am I striving to live the grace of baptism? Do I ask God to, in effect, rekindle within me, the fires of baptism? It's not that I just was baptized, I was, but I am baptized, I am. It's a reality that's ongoing in my life. The grace of the sacrament is ongoing in my life, but I need to stoke it. I need to ask. I need to, beseech God to help me live in accordance with the grace of baptism, because that's what starts everything. It starts the supernatural life. It initiates me into the church. It leads me to be a child of God, and so on. Okay, so lots there for us to reflect on. Over to the Gospel, John chapter 5. This is the man at the well for 39 years. So when Jesus saw him lying there, one man who had been there, who was there, had been ill for 38 years. When Jesus saw him lying there and knew that he had been there a long time, Jesus said to him, "Do you want to be made well?" Kind of an odd question, isn't it? But it's not really. The sick man answered, "Sir, I have no one to put me into the pool when the water is stirred up, and while I am making my way, someone else steps down ahead of me." Jesus said to him, "Stand up, take your mat, and walk," and he does. Why does Jesus ask this man? First of all, there's so much here to reflect on. Jesus doesn't cure everybody. Jesus probably walked around or walked over people who were sick. He didn't cure them. There's one guy. All right, why? We can ask God. I can ask God if we get to heaven. We can speculate. Jesus didn't come here to cure everybody. He came here to save everybody. That doesn't mean cure everybody of physical ailments. He didn't come here to cure everybody. He came here to save, to offer salvation to everybody. That's very important for us to remember. So when you're sick and I'm sick, and we say, "Well, God, why don't you heal me of this? I feel this is awful. It's chronic." He didn't come here to cure everybody of physical ailments. He came here to offer salvation to everybody. Even that's contingent on our acceptance of it, on our cooperation with it. So why he chooses this guy, I don't know. God's predilection. But the fact that he chose him and asks him this means that the man, in a way, has given up. He seems to keep trying, but maybe he wasn't trying anymore. Because I've been doing this, everybody gets ahead of me, so why even try anymore? Of course I want to be healed, but Jesus has to get it out of him. Jesus says, do you want to be made well? And the man doesn't say yes, right? It's interesting. The man doesn't say yes. Of course I want to be healed. He just tells Jesus, basically, every time I do this, it doesn't turn out. Jesus then offers him the grace, well, stand up, take up your mat and walk. And Jesus will incur wrath from the Pharisees because of this, because he does it intentionally on the Sabbath. All right, he could have waited for the next day. Why did Jesus do this? It's like he's not, putting his finger in their eye. He's trying to teach them that good and holy things should be done on the Sabbath. And they've lost the purpose of the Sabbath by all their intricate rules. And then they have little pathetic, sick little loopholes to get around it and cheat. And he's actually doing good on the Sabbath by healing and restoring this man to relationship with God, healing his body in this case. And he's showing forth that he is the Messiah. I mean, that's the ultimate thing. He's showing forth by his power, he's the Messiah. He just has to say to this lame person, in the 38 years, it's like taking a body that's, a person who's died like 6 months ago, a person's rotting in the flesh, and he says, come back to life, and boom, it just happens. Well, nobody can do that. No creature can do that. Only the Creator has the power to do that. Well, only Jesus has the power to heal this man 38 years. This is not going to be some miraculous, spontaneous regeneration of the muscles. No, it's going to be divine power healing this man. And so there's, again, so much here to reflect on for you and me. Jesus calls this man out of himself. You and I should learn from this to ask Jesus for the grace to ask him. We need the grace to ask him to help us. And he will always consent to helping us, not necessarily to cure our physical ailments. Sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. But he will always, 100% of the time, if we are sincere, always cure us of our spiritual ailments, of the guilt we incur when we commit sin. Remember that as you go through the day. God bless you.